Welcome back to coverage of the 2025 Syracuse Open, sponsored by the Pies Guys. We're playing on Clay West at the beautiful Clay Central Park in Clay, New York. I'm Luke Sakran, joined by Tournament Director Stephen Bailey.
We are excited to be back after a great front nine. We've got Nathan Queen leading the way at 5 down, and 3 other great players, including Luke, trying to chase him down on a very scoreable back nine.
A couple blemishes on the scorecards from 3 of our competitors. That can happen on Clay West, but you mostly want to be looking like Martin there. You want to have a clean and consistent scoring round to put yourself in a good position going into round 2.
As you can see, if you're not scoring, you're losing ground fast out here. A couple 7 downs through 9, and we are jumping right into hole 10. We got a 245-foot par 3. OB Castle on the right in that fenced-in area, and you pretty much want to throw it straight and get under the ceiling.
And Nathan does exactly that. He's throwing an AVR X3 there, a bit of an older one, so it's a little bit straighter. Gets a nice kick off a tree, and he's got an easy putt for his birdie.
Martin leaking a little bit left, but he gets through nicely.
Yeah, and it's okay on that left side of the basket. There are some guarded trees, but you'll be able to find an open look.
Yeah, if you're getting up to pin high, you should be okay. Evan might have a little bit more of a contested look.
Coming in more on the right side here for myself and catching the thickest of the guardian trees there, leaving myself with a circle's edge putt. And leaving it just a little bit low. You can see the frustration. This is not a hole you want to be missing.
Yeah, kind of tough. Right in between the 2 gaps there. Evan maybe 25 feet or so.
Finds a window, bangs a nice putt. He'll be walking away with a 2.
Yeah, good chance to get back on track. He had a tough double bogey on 7. And then a couple of pars on some tough par 3s in 8 and 9.
Nice. Marty with one of his signature stab spin putts right in the heart of the chains, walking away with his birdie. And Nathan with his balancing act of a tap-in. Easy birdie for him.
Yeah, that swing is looking pretty good from Nathan. I think he's got 6 of the last 8. Something like that.
Moving on to hole number 11. 270 foot, slightly uphill par 3. New to this year is this giant wood chip hill with the basket up in the air, maybe 10 to 12 feet or so. OB parking lot on the left. You won't be seeing any of our competitors having any trouble with that. And Nathan hitting the long side of these wood chips and skipping to the bottom.
As we said in the front nine, very calm conditions, playing on a Saturday morning in mid-September. And when the wind gets up, this elevated basket could make a 25 or 30 footer be a little scarier, but with the wind down, players of this caliber should be taking care of business here.
Nice drives from Martin and Evan there, taking advantage of the wood chips to slow down the speed of their discs. Wide hyzer for myself. Coming up a bit short of the wood chips, but got a circle's edge putt up in the air.
Yeah, the edge of those chips should be about 20 feet from the basket.
After leaving that last one low on hole 10, I made sure to get this one up in the air and join the rest of my card and getting some birdies.
Nathan is dialed in. This is second turkey already on the round. Evan taking his time and knocking it down.
And Martin, last to act. Best drive of the bunch. Completing our star frame, first of the day.
And that was the softest hole on Clay West for MPO. All those guys taking care of business. Moving on to hole 12. Just under 400 foot par 3. A little bit downhill. Would guess it plays more in the 370 range. Really the one thing you don't want to do is go long. You can potentially find some thicker rough.
There is a baseball field on the right. In the past, on windy days, your disc can carry over into there, but we got perfect conditions today. Nathan going just a bit long on the left side of the basket. He's going to have an obstructed putt for his birdie.
Yeah, someone who's thrown in that baseball field, it really does look far away when you're watching it on camera.
It comes up quick, though. Martin with his Halo Wraith that he throws a whole bunch over there on the left side of the basket alongside Nathan, but with a more open look.
Yeah, you got the distance just right on that.
Here's more of your typical play from your power righties. Big hyzer over this bush that's about 90 to 100 feet away from the basket. You got Evan coming in just a bit long. 10 feet of the basket there.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Trying to follow those trails.
I don't have quite the power that Evan has, but just enough to get to the basket. A backhand hyzer with a Halo Destroyer that I can trust to always hyzer back.
Nice putt from Marty. Jams it.
Yep, just outside the circle there. Nice spin putt from Marty, that nose up angle. So good at controlling it.
And another one for Nathan. Seeing a lot of green on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, breaking my heart here. I thought he might be a little bit obstructed and thought I might be picking up a stroke on him, but he said, nope. Gonna take more than that.
Yeah, you might need an ace if you want to get a stroke on Nathan today.
Cashing in on his birdies, Evan. And we're going to have our second star frame of the day.
Back to back, right?
Back to back. This one not as expected, but it did play fairly easy on the day. But there was not much wind, and there's not much in the way of the tee pad and the baskets.
This coverage is brought to you by the Pies Guys, title sponsor of the Syracuse Open for its first 4 years. Reese and the Pies Guys team have been integral to the growth of the event since day one, providing lunch for all players and contributing to one of the largest pro purses in the Northeast. Stop in and chow down on their selection of brick oven pizza, fish fry, subs, and more. Or carry out your next meal. With 5 locations in central New York, including 4 in Syracuse, you're never far from a hot slice.
Coming in on hole 13, 410-foot par 3, another one of the 400-foot par 3s that we have on this Clay West course. Baseball field on the left, that'll be OB. There's also an OB line to the right of the baseball field, pinching it in. You see the flags running along the field there. Nice lefty shape for Nathan. Looking at a just outside circle putt for his birdie.
And Marty just a little overturned, maybe a little more height.
Yeah, and there might have been a little bit of a right to left wind here, so he's getting over on that disc early and not giving it a chance to come out.
Yeah, understandable with that OB line left as well, not wanting to leave it high and let it get away from you.
We were calling for that to go in from the tee, and you can see now that it didn't really have a chance. It was behind the basket, and it looked like he skipped down the path to the next hole. So he's going to have an interesting putt approach coming up.
And you're on the short side, maybe a little bit obstructed to the right, but that seems like a look.
A floaty bit here from Marty, and leaking a little bit long, but he didn't go in too deep to give himself too much trouble.
And Nathan's human. He doesn't like being human, but
Hasn't missed much today, but There's one.
Yeah.
And I just squeak it over the rim there. That's a nice birdie.
Showing him how it's done.
Nice birdie for me to get. A little bit short on the forehand. It slightly downhill, but still does take some power to get that full 410.
Definitely. Maybe after leaving a couple a little low, I'm sure it feels good to get one there.
Yeah, I'm on a little turkey myself, and Evan going to the forehand here and jams it in.
God. Thing was cooking.
Not how he drew it up, but he's walking away with the birdie, getting a stroke on Nathan and Martin.
Yeah.
And really erasing the double bogey he had in the front nine.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten it under control. And I mean, 54 holes in the tournament, so you can recover from a mistake like that, but you definitely want to be scoring, especially on this course. And we're moving on to hole 14, 213 foot, kind of a tunnel hole. Right hand, backhand, you can kind of either stay right where the drone was flying toward, or maybe even saw it off a little bit and you can kind of get a forward push up the hill.
And that's exactly what we see Evan doing here, and that's the play I like myself. You get that kind of a counter skip that you saw his disc have when from the tee. It looks like he saw it off. So a good shot from Evan. A little bit wide for myself. Not committing to the play that I just described, and going to have an easy pitch up from the left.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to pull a right hand, backhand right a little bit. When you're on the tee, that big tree on the left does seem a little bit more in the way than it does from this angle, as Martin displays there.
Yeah, common mistake there from Marty. That big tree catches a lot of discs. And fortunate to give himself an opportunity to get up and down, but catches some leaves, and he's going to be well short for his par putt.
Looks like you took some notes.
Yeah, just that extra distance from Martin to myself really makes a difference.
Good bid, just a little bit left.
Yeah, he's just obstructed from that tree on the right. Had to putt that one on some Anheuser. As Nathan sends home his birdie on not your typical lefty hole.
Birdie sure feels good.
You see him smiling.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sure if you're left-handed, you're used to having to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I know in practice he wasn't looking forward to having to play this hole, so he's happy. I don't know if he even parred it when he was practicing, so.
Did you tell him there used to be a giant tree right in the middle of the fairway?
Yeah, this hole's gone through some changes, and tapping in a par for myself.
I believe it would be lipstick on a pig.
And moving on to hole 15, one of my favorite shapes on the course. 240-foot par 3. You're throwing a low ceiling shot off the tee that you want to just finish a little bit to the left. It's a nice dark gap you're throwing into. And we see Evan putting his judge on a lot of hyzer here, and getting some nice action off the tree and rolling right up to the basket.
That is a very kind reaction.
I had wondered. It looked like it was pretty inside in real time. Nathan with a star Colt. Hyzer now a little bit early, but he's right up there, just past pin high.
15 feet.
And a little bit of a yank from myself, and looked like it was going to cover some ground, but does get slapped down halfway through the fairway.
And Martin a little right as well. And catches a tree.
Easy enough approach here. I like throwing this swooping Anheuser forehand just to control the distance, and this green does kind of slope a little down, so you don't want to come in too hot.
Yeah, you could definitely find yourself at 25 or 30 feet if you run one just a little too hard.
Nathan taking another birdie on a not lefty hole, something he's much used to. And Evan with the easy tap-in birdie after that nice reaction off the trees.
I think that's 6 in a row for Evan, so
Yeah,
he's
back
rolling.
nine's very scoreable. Couple pars for Martin and myself.
This coverage is brought to you by Myers Creek Brewing Company, a major sponsor of the Syracuse Open and steadfast supporter of the local disc golf community. Featuring 2 central New York locations, Myers Creek has been voted the best brewery in Advanced Media's 2023 Reader's Choice Awards. Come out to the Farm Brewery in Cazenovia, which includes a 9-hole disc golf course and hosts a Thursday night putt club each winter. Or stop in at the Inner Harbor Tap Room and grab yourself a pint of Bangin' Chains Session IPA. Myers Creek, proudly brewing what's next for craft beer in the heart of New York State.
Going into our last par 3 of the round, 219 feet. Kind of got 2 gaps. We see the drone flying the right side. You can also throw lefty backhand or righty forehand on the left side. But pretty specific lines either way. Yeah, we see Evan going turnover and just a little overcommitted there.
Yeah, catches a tree about 2/3 down the fairway, stops him from progressing too far. He's going to have a long look from circle 2 for a birdie.
And Nathan getting the width there that you need with that line.
Yeah, just throwing that Aviar X3 low, letting the dirt slide up to the basket. And I got this one going a little too far right. Catch a nice tree. There's a little Bobby Jones break and save myself from being in a bad spot.
And Martin, just catching the last tree on the right side. That was a couple inches away from being pretty much perfect.
Just a little right side there for Evan. Really a great shot out of his hand. Unfortunate to catch something, but there's a good number of trees on this fairway. You gotta be pretty precise with your drive. And Martin spinning in a birdie.
Just gets it there. Jammed that one.
Yep. Stealing a birdie when the course gives you breaks, you gotta take advantage of them. I did not have the best drive and was fortunate to have a circle birdie putt and took advantage.
Got Evan coming back for his par.
That'll end his streak of birdies with a couple holes left to play.
2 par 4s to finish it out here. Another birdie for Nathan, getting to 11 down.
Here we have hole 17, par 4, OB parking lot there, way out in the fairway on the left, and a split OB line on the right, 17 and 18. You're just going to see a lot of big drives out to this left side, give the player the option of either going around that tree over the parking lot, or if they're far enough right, you have a pretty straight shot into the basket. OB long as well. Low punching distance driver for myself. Not too far out there, but at only 594 feet, you don't need that much distance to walk away with your birdie here.
Yeah, these 2 holes, again, another couple where when the wind is up, it brings in maybe a little bit more trouble for players of this caliber, but, these are close to must-gets on a day like this for these guys.
I've been putting a move on one, leaking out a little bit far left. You can go as far left as you want, there's no trouble over there.
Looks like you're just coming up a little bit short around circle's edge, maybe?
Yeah, there is OB behind the basket, so it was in the back of my mind not to throw it too hard.
Yeah, OB on every side, so You know, gotta throw a solid shot to get
Nathan.
a chance.
Coming up just a bit short. Have about 10 feet left for his birdie putt.
Yeah, it's a great shot there.
And so far left for Evan that he can still throw a backhand on the left side of that tree.
Yeah, how far do you think that drive was in the 450 range?
About 450. It looked like a pretty easy 120-foot putt.
Yeah, and there wasn't even much turn on it. And a nice putt from yourself.
Yeah, just outside my normal range. Happy to walk away with a birdie there. I had some low putts earlier in the round, and I made the adjustment, started getting the disc up. As we see Marty taking his birdie on the hole.
Another one for Nathan.
The flamingo style balancing putt. It's how he's comfortable putting from close range. And a birdie from Evan, wrapping up the star frame for the group.
There's a nice set of birdies from the guys. We're going to wrap up on hole 18, 690-foot par 4. We've got that same OB line on the right and parking lot left. So you're going to be able to really work your drive here, fairly wide fairway for these guys, and then a controlled shot in.
Pretty much throw as hard as you can and cover as many rocks here on the right as possible.
How many rocks would that be, would you guess?
That looked to be about 16 rocks, which is about a 400-foot drive. Putting this one out there, right at the OB on the right, letting it swing back in, center cut fairway. And Marty ripping on one, seen him really lean into it.
And Evan unleashes on one a little bit low, but that's still upwards of 350, probably closer to 4.
A little bit low for Evan, but no issue getting into this green. There's nothing in the way. If anything, you don't want to go too far.
Yep, Martin giving himself a putt, maybe right around circle's edge.
Really like this forehand approach that you see from Evan. There's some wood chips by the basket, and they'll slow your disc down, just like that happened there.
And Nathan using all that width as well.
Coming in really wide for Nathan. Checking up just behind this tree, but he'll have a look for his birdie.
You didn't like the forehand enough to throw it?
No, I wanted to throw a slower disc from my shorter distance. Somehow I was the long drive of the group of these great players.
Nice putt from Martin. He's hit a couple of big ones here in the back half.
Yeah, left corner pocket.
And a little bit of an impeded putt here from Nathan. Not a problem. 13 down. That is setting a hot pace on the weekend.
Yeah, they'll be coming in as the hot round for the day on this first round. Very good 13 under from Nathan with a bogey early.
Yeah, second hole around. Did not let that stop him.
And similar story from Evan, cleaning up his double bogey, still coming in at double digits as 10 under.
Yeah, that's plenty to be in the mix here.
And I don't want to mess up this star frame after these guys made some nice putts, so taking my time and taking my birdie.
Yeah, it's a nice round. I believe yours came in just under 1,000.
Yep, that was a 995 rated round. A little bit lower than normal local events. Might have been just over 1,000, but Looking at the scores here, 13 under for Nathan Queen, like I said, coming in at the hot round. Look at the rest of the scores here from the round 1 leaderboard. Andrew Miranda, Braden Side, Zach Sisson, all with 12 unders. We'll be seeing them in round 2 over on the east side of Clay Park.
And quite a few 11s, including our friend Jerry Menzie. So we hope you tune in for round 2. Our MPO players will be taking on Clay East. Same property, but 18 holes of woods golf. And I think a pretty fitting location for the moving round. So we'll see you there.